Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my great-grandmother's story with you. Our Armenian memories who witnessed the terrible genocide in 1915. Before I tell her story, there was something very strange about my nan. She had some strange tattoos on her right hand that she didn't like speaking about this. But as a Christian, nun to have tattoos on her hand, that was really unusual. And one was cross in the middle finger, and we thought maybe it represents because she's Christian. But next to it, it was some kind of curvy sign which was faded, and she didn't like speaking about this, but I will tell later why she had these tattoos. In August 1915, 1.5 million innocent Armenian men, women, children died in this act of genocide, and further 1 million were deported from their homeland. The principal cause of this, that Armenians were Christians and are Christians, and all the business of the town was carried by them. She was only 8-year-old, and lived with her family, mother, father and brother in Adabazar, and already perceived the word enemy. She was too little to understand why it was so, but never forgot those episodes for the rest of her life. The Turkish government recalled all the men to send to army, but they separated Armenians from Turks. When her father asked, "Why do you single out Armenians?" the Turkish commander answered that Armenians are going to work on a road construction and Turks are going to join the Russian army. My nan woke up in the morning and went out to play, but she saw severed human heads and limbs near the house, and then family decided to stay in their house. The next day, 2 Turkish soldiers came to rudely commanded to her father, "Hayde," which means "now get up." A Turk said to her father, "Papazi Efendi," which means "this is your last hour, what do you want to say?" And her father began to pray. The Turkish soldiers swung the axe and beheaded her father in front of the family. Then soldiers started playing football with his head. Then she used to say, I screamed and I cannot remember. And she used to repeat, "I just cannot remember what happened next." They escaped Adabazar along with other women and children for 2 days to rocks, and they were very thirsty. But unfortunately, they were not able to drink the water from the river, as the river became red from the blood of dead bodies thrown into it. 2 days later, her mother also was seized by Turkish soldiers. And she was all alone with her brother, 9-year-old, and she was 8-year-old. We didn't know what to do or where to run, she used to say. We were lucky that an elderly woman was passing by with other 2 children. Then she took me and my brother and said that she will take us to our mother, because obviously they didn't understand that her mother was killed. Then when they were leading to home, 3 Turkish soldiers caught them, and one of them wanted to kill all of them. Happily, the other soldier said, "Since they have survived after all, let them live." The Turkish soldiers took my grandmother and her brother to a place where there were other 15 children. And when one Turkish officer saw them, he decided that he is going to take them to his house and make them as his children. However, luckily my great-grandmother and her brother Artash found their auntie on the same day, Tamara, and she was able to rescue her and her brother. Then Auntie Tamara took Arpine and her brother Artash to Izmir and later to Armenia. Unfortunately, I never saw my nan's brother because later on he was killed in Second War. He was very young and he never came back from the war, so we are not sure whether he was killed or he survived, so we never heard anything from him. My nun used to say, we live terrible life and maybe we will be happy in another life, which meant she will be happy when she goes to heaven. She also used to say that younger generation maybe will forgive what has happened, but unfortunately she would never do. She is not able to do that. I always remember these words and hope that one day Armenian people will see the happy life, but this seems impossible until now, after 100 years. Until now, Turks kill and they are on denial. On January 2004, Gurgen Markarian left Budapest, Hungary, to participate in 3 months English course. On February 19, he was asked while he was asleep by his fellow Azerbaijani participant, Lieutenant Ramil Safarov. The murder took place at 5 a.m. while the victim was asleep. After killing, Safarov was arrested in Budapest authorities, and 2 years later he was released and sent back to Azerbaijan, where Azerbaijani president announced him a national hero. In August 2012, Armenian President Serge Sargsyan announced that Armenia is suspending diplomatic relations and that all official contacts with Hungary. Now, last year, Syria, there was another anti-Damascus Turkish soldiers of Armenian village they just destroyed. That was Kesab case, and the situation on the ground remains murky, as 620 Armenian families been evacuated from Kesab. They are still attacking, destroying churches and pillaging private properties. And these are often supported by horrible videos, pictures, films on internet. This is another anti-Armenian aggression, and as well as confirming Turkey's hostile attitude towards Syria and about what's happening in the world. Only last year, I came across to this documentary film about my Armenian grandma's tattoos, and actually I was shocked because I understood why my nan had these tattoos. She was only 8, but she was sexually abused, and this was a sign that Turkish soldiers used to do to children on their face, Turkish flag which had cross and moon. And she never told us about this, and because I think she was feeling like she was shameful what has happened to her, and she never had the strength to tell us what actually has happened to her. And I think enough is enough, and this has to stop. After 100 years, we are hoping that the whole nation will recognize Armenian genocide, and that we need to educate our children so this doesn't happen again. We need to act together and stop the war. We don't want happy life in other life, like my nan used to say. We want it right now. My great-grandmother and other innocent people who died from genocide would like to see the new generation free of war and happy. Thank you so much.